What's up, y'all? This is Rico, and I'm finna make this quick. This is not about to be a traditional episode of the Feeltrip podcast due to the conflicts that we had in our scheduling this week, but I was a guest on another podcast, the Keep Scrolling podcast, hosted by TJ. Shout out to you, and I appreciate you for sending the stuff back so I can put out some content this week too, man. But it's just me and him having a one-on-one conversation. After this, some type of meme or some shit is about to pop up because I did not record myself sitting in the dining room talking on the phone. That shit sounds insane. Y'all be safe and keep brushing your teeth though.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Keep Scrolling podcast. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've been working overtime. I don't have to give excuses to you people. Fuck that. You know what? This is it. Do you want to listen or not? Here we are. Okay. Anyway, I'm excited today because I have a guest. Again, I think that most of my shows are gonna have guests now because it's really difficult to do this by myself. I probably say that every week when I have a guest, but it is. Without further ado, though, I want to introduce. I want to introduce my guest. This is my nigga, Darren Jones, aka Rico Wayne. I said you government, nigga. That's how I know you. I really don't.
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Peter Parker and Clark Kent is, you know what I'm saying, some of my inspirations, you know what I'm saying?
Niggas change their nicknames very often.
Nah, it's all good. If people look deep enough between the lines, I want them to know who I am anyway. If they pay the right attention, I feel like people should be rewarded for their attention. You know what I'm saying? But hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Rico Wayne from the Feeltrip podcast.
Yeah. So I really just wanted to have you on, man, because the last podcast I had was a guested show or a crossover show with your podcast, Feeltrip, and it was like 5 niggas on the mic at a time. And don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? It was fun, but there's no clear and concise conversation that can really be had in that kind of discussion. You know?
Yeah, that was a lot of energy.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of energy, a lot of different energy.
I don't know. It was kind of like some type of uncontrollable fireball.
Yeah. And, it seems like things get sidetracked and there's a lot of tangents and all this stuff that happen a lot more often when you have that many people.
Definitely.
So yeah, man, how did y'all start that shit? How did y'all start Feeltrip, bro?
All right, I got sparked by the idea by I always heard people saying especially back when my puberty first started, I guess my voice was like it attracted certain attention. They was like, man, you could like work in like radio or something like that. And like I used to really want to be like a secret agent or some shit, but then I was like, all right, I might do some shit like that one day. And like I was like I used to be at UTA and I was going to they had an entertainment, like a media building where you go to radio studios and shit like that. I was giving myself my own tours and shit and looking at all the shit they was using, like the equipment and all that. I was like, where do all these plugs go? How do the microphones and shit work? And like, you know, they had little sound booths in studios. And then at first I was like, I wouldn't even know what I would do. I was like gonna get an internship at a radio station or something. But then, you know, the internet, that shit started like, you know what I'm saying? That shit started expanding. And then it expanded to where people started, first it was like, you know, people was like, ooh, we got home videos that started going viral. Then people started saying, hey, I could actually start, you know, mimicking shit that I see on TV. So it started showing, like, you know, people start having their own documentaries on YouTube. Then people started pretty much making their own radio shows, AKA podcasts. And then at first I was seeing podcasts with just, I'm going to say, people having formal conversations. And then it started turning into like, it started having more variety where people could have any type of conversation. And like one podcast, the first podcast that I ever listened to, the first episode of a podcast I ever listened to was The Brilliant Idiots with Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz. And the episode was To Headbutt a Bullet. And they had a guest on there named Tack Stone. And it was like, like the shit that they was talking about, I knew it was like dark and funny at the same time. Like, I don't know if you ever had this feeling, but like it's some shit that you could say in the general public. You know, everybody is just, you know, it's like I call it like conventional like comedy or some shit like that. Like, you know, somebody gonna laugh if somebody trip and fall or something like that.
Yeah, fart jokes, shit like that.
Yeah, typical shit. But the shit that they was talking about, like the whole, even the title of that episode, "To Head But a Bullet," or where that shit comes from, it's like a dark, funny place. And like I always had a special place in my heart like that. I always had like a special place in my heart for shit like that. And I was like, man, I be having a lot of shit on my chest. And if I could like spill that out, and if I had like people that understood me and didn't judge me too much off of that, then we could like carry some shit, you know what I'm saying? And then I also, at that same time, I started soaking in a lot of shit, like as far as books, interviews, and like pretty much events that happen in people's lives, in my life too. And basically I started treating it as like a diary. And like whenever we came together, I was telling like my co-host that I say, like, I was like, I like the show, like that our generation is like deeper. I like to show a deeper side of our generation than just pictures and like, you know what I'm saying, like posts that's like half a paragraph. And sometimes, like, whenever I feel like posting something, I want to talk way deeper. Like, right now, like, I just did this whole monologue with you, and that shit is probably, like 3 minutes straight. It's like a whole rap song right there. And that's just me, like, telling you about this shit.
You just made
you know
a rap song.
They could put me at the intro of a mixtape or some shit.
Find the rhyming words.
Yeah, man. So, like, I just wanted to express the shit that I had been soaking up. I feel like it could be pretty good, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it could help people if they process the shit the right way, because you got to watch out, because, you know, a lot of us gonna read the same books, but we ain't finna get the same messages. See, that shit just be dripping out.
Exactly. Yeah, conversations are important as fuck. Like, they really are, and I'm really glad that there is a media platform just strictly for conversation. In this day and age, like, radio was first. You know what I'm saying? Well, newspaper was first, but the first like sensory media besides
words,
reading was radio. And for it to be, you know, so prevalent now when it comes to podcasts, just the audio, you know, medium when it comes to just simply conversation, like, it's crazy. And I mean, I've always been, when it comes to me, I've always been very like bad at conversation. Like, this is really just a project to help me get better with talking. Because
I was the same way, man. I was just saying the other episode that we had recorded the other day, like, one of the first things I had to do as a young adult was basically, if my shyness was a person, right, I had to line them up on the wall. I had a grenade, a shotgun, and basically I pulled the pin on the grenade, threw it at him, shot it with the shotgun, and that's what I had to do to my shyness, man. Like, he was pretty much on the wall in pieces after that.
To me, it wasn't necessarily shyness. It was more so analytics. I would really think about what I'm saying and really think about what the other person was saying. And it was like, I felt like a robot. Like, all right, he
So
said
you was thinking
this.
too
Now,
much?
on this list of things, what should I say?
You felt like you were thinking too much?
Yeah, definitely. I think about what I have to say back to a person too much. I sometimes I felt like I was a little sociopathic or something. Like, what am I? Am I human or what? So like, having these conversations with people, it makes me feel more human. It makes me feel like other people have opinions, and, you know, I just want to know what those are. I want to, you know, I want to be challenged. I want to see other people be challenged, which is why I kind of fell in love with the media of podcasting. And yeah, man, it's great. It's great. You don't have to pay much to do it. And you don't necessarily have to have, you know, hundreds of thousands of people listening. Like, so.
Oh nah, man. To be honest, I do it. I follow like Big Crit. You know, his philosophy is King Remembered in Time, and his one of his like what he said about himself was like he'll be heard by way more people whenever he leave, and like you know a sad truth to that is whenever Nipsey had passed, he had more clout than he ever did while he was alive. After he passed, like sad to say.
That's true. I went and listened to this nigga's music. I never have. I never listened to it. I mean, there was one song I liked by Nipsey Hussle, and you heard Take Me Out. That's one of my favorite Nipsey songs because it's one of the only ones I know.
Oh yeah, the bass is nice.
I went back and listened to some music before. It was pretty dope. It was kind of on. It was like that music that you like, but you don't really listen to it. You know, I like that, but I wouldn't buy an album or I wouldn't download it or I don't have to hear it again.
Yeah,
that's kind of how his music was.
I guess it depends on where you from. Like what I liked about him was always like people that rap about solutions. Right. Like that's why Jay-Z is one of my favorite. Oh, yeah. And like Outkast too. Like low key Outkast, they be coming with some solutions in their raps. You know what I'm saying? Do. And then yeah, and like I was always attracted to that. It did like he had passion in his voice. Like he wasn't like a lyrical wordplay type dude. He had passion whenever like it's some type of soul in rap from time to time.
There is.
Like whenever you catch the right person, you'll feel a different type of soul leaking out. It ain't got to be like, you know, like some like R&B type shit, but it is soul in the words that dudes yell and scream on the mic from time to time.
You know what's weird? There used to be people, like, I mean, ancient times, there were people who did this. It just wasn't it was to music. Like, there was a lute player and there was a guy who told a story, or there was a guy who said a poem in front of a audience. And, like, through history, nobody does that except rappers. Like, rappers are the last real poets. Really, I mean, you see the slam poets and the fucking Def Poetry Jam clips on Facebook. It's not Def Poetry Jam, but it's some sort of event like this where people will get up and do it. Yeah. But that's not what's popular. What's popular is hip hop, and these are some of the smartest people.
Of it.
Like the wordsmanship of a hip hop artist is far greater than an accountant or some shit like this.
It is.
Like, you have to be really smart to do this, like, at a high level. You know what I'm saying?
You know what the funny thing is? Like, something funny. It's
what's that?
I don't know. I think it's unintentional too. Like, it's a lot of people that don't think that they smart, but like I said, like, you know, love is a powerful thing. Like, it's some people out there that used to be in school that used to struggle to read, but if somebody loves sports enough, they know how to read the back of every name on the jersey, even if this shit is from like Germany or something. Right. They got like 13 letters. But like with this rap shit, it's a lot of people that don't know how smart they are, but they love the shit so much that their resourcefulness and the way how they could grab thoughts from their head, you know what I'm saying? That shit is like at some type. This shit looks superhuman to average people. Like whenever I hear
no genius feels genius.
You say what?
No genius feels like they're a genius.
Oh yeah, like I think it's I think what I'm saying? I heard Bruce Lee say in a video that I recently saw. I heard him say that you're gonna find out that you're either naturally unnatural or unnaturally natural, and whichever one you find, just mash the gas. Whenever you find out which one you are. That shit touched.
It does. Damn, like I kind of want to parse through that a little bit. So, either you're unnaturally natural or naturally unnatural.
Yep.
Which one do you want to be? Which one do you prefer? Like, how do you? I'm trying to understand it like fully. Like, I need a breakdown of that. Do you know
Right.
Do you know kind of where he was going? Can you open that can?
I'm finna see if I could. I'm finna see if I could find out. I'm finna take my educated guess. All right, when he says the naturally unnatural part, I started thinking of people like Rick James with curls and shit. Prince with the assless
Right.
chaps and shit. People like Young Thug. As soon as he hop on the cover with a dress, it's like that. But
Lady Gaga, people like that.
it's like they
yeah.
It's like they like fully aware of what's happening, but they don't let that fuck with them at all. They still on stage with precision. You know what I'm saying? And then when you think of
Exactly.
unnaturally natural, I'm thinking of people like Jamie Foxx with his acting skills and comedy skills and shit. And then like also people.
That's really just him.
And then like you got.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Then you got I'm gonna say Will Smith too. It's like it ain't nothing that's like outstanding about them, but whenever it comes to fitting into a certain place, they can do that shit easily. Or even like it don't even have to be a celebrity. It could be like whenever you see like athletes, you know what I'm saying? When you see athletes do certain things, it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my educated guess on it.
Tim Duncan was unnaturally natural.
What you mean as far as personality and stuff goes?
As far as the way he played, Mr. Fundamental, he didn't do like LeBron is naturally unnatural. Like he is
an
fucking
anomaly.
Huge.
And he can still move.
He's an
anomaly. He can still
Yeah,
move like
exactly.
he's like 5'5" or something like that. Yeah.
Right. But then you got Tim Duncan, who just so happened to be born tall and actually able to take these fundamental skills of basketball and use them at their highest level without
definitely.
changing them that much. Like, that's unnaturally natural to me.
Yeah, that's you mean how he like looks so basic, but he still get the job done.
He looks basic. He's Mr. Fundamental. I once watched that nigga shoot a corner 3 off the backboard. Nigga, how in the hell do you do that? Off the backboard from the corner, nigga? But that's just speaking on fundamentals, if you ask me. If you hit the square, it'll go in.
That's like pretty
Type
much
shit.
exactly what it. That's as close as I could get it with my guess. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what he felt with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I feel like we got to the bottom of that. So yeah, man, I was listening to you guys on your show.
Which one?
And
Which episode?
this very last one that just came out.
I want to say it was called "Be Healthy Hoes."
With the white dude.
Yeah, "Be Healthy
booty.
Hoes." Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So yeah, I was listening to that, and there was a couple of things that came up that, like, you know, most people when you're listening to a podcast, you hear it and you want to speak on stuff, but you don't know these people. But I know you, and I have you on the show, so I wanted to bring up that Elon Musk thing you were talking about.
I had to,
digging a tunnel underneath New York. I listened to an episode of Joe Rogan, and Elon
that's where
Musk
it
was
came
on there.
from.
He was talking about that, and Elon Musk is Iron Man. If Iron Man was a real live human, like in the real world. Of course, you can't have an iron suit with all this shit in it, but you can build a flamethrower randomly.
I seen the picture of him playing with it too.
Right. Joe Rogan bought one, and everybody that comes on the show takes a picture with it. He lets them play with it and stuff. But that tunnel underneath, that was a argument against flying cars, because he was saying the best flying car there is today has already been built. It's a helicopter. That's the best we're gonna do. Like, that's the best we're gonna do. Like, everything else would be too, like,
definitely
high energy consumption, harsh on the environment. Like, anything that we can create like that, either the technology isn't there yet, or it'll be harmful in some way, or expensive. So why try to do that when you can build more a more permanent kind of solution to traffic and just build under it? Don't go over it, just build under it. You know, build tunnels. So he's trying to build tunnels through the city, so it'll be like a highway subway. And you can drive your car to whatever destination, avoiding or splitting up some of that traffic that LA has. And nigga, that is a huge undertaking. And that would be highly expensive too. I guess
super future
Iron
shit
Man
right
says
there.
the best way to do it.
Like what got me about Elon Musk, he was one of those smart dudes that don't even care how he speak. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pretty
right. I mean, yeah.
Like
yeah,
the way how he
like,
talking, it's like I felt like he was thinking of shit while he was sitting up there conversating with Joe the whole time. Like I felt like
yeah, I mean, there was like a 10 to 15 second pause between each question and answer.
I think his
because he stopped and thought about.
Yeah, you ever seen The Hangover? That movie, The Hangover. Remember when what's the dude name who had got super smart and like when he started looking around, he started seeing numbers and shit just popping up everywhere. What's the fuck? I forgot his name.
Oh, you talking about Zach Galifianakis when
it's
he
been
was
so long since that movie
cards.
came out. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think Elon Musk was doing while he was talking to Joe Rogan the whole time.
Right,
I think shit was just going through his head and he was thinking about under systems and like I want to say with the flamethrower, he didn't even call it a flamethrower, right? He called it technically something else. I forgot what he called it.
Yeah, because he said you can't sell a flamethrower, so it's like a propulsion gun or some dumb shit. And and he's what does it take? I mean, I guess genetics for sure. One thing that I've always valued is just knowledge. Like I've always wanted to know more shit. And I don't feel like even in my quest to know more shit, I could never acquire as much information as someone like Elon Musk can. And it's so frustrating. It's just like, I wish I could be that fucking smart. Guy's a fucking genius.
What I think it is, I think he stays busy on purpose. Like I don't think he complains about, you know what I'm saying, having a purpose, but like if you keep yourself in a certain routine, like it's just like bodybuilders with muscle. The same thing I feel like that happens with your mind too. Like if he probably used to going through certain types of information most of the time, and a lot of the times whenever he was talking about projects and stuff that he wanted to do in the future, he compared it to like he did the tunnel system. I think he compared it to like the way how snakes move. I think like the way how like the stability and shit. I want to say that he like I think he has a good concept of, I'm gonna say, wisdom, because wisdom is when you could take concepts from different situations and relate them to each other. So the way how he did snakes to tunnels, I was like, yeah, he probably be just like analyzing shit and comparing it to shit, and then he got a good grasp of the engineering too. So he got like, as far as the like the analytic shit, and the logistics, if he applies all those together, I want to say that's what results in him looking like, you know what I'm saying, how you perceive him as Iron Man.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, and you can't, overlook his team and everybody that works with him. There's probably a lot of brilliant people who he works with over there on a lot of these
positive peer pressure.
But I'm sure he is the epicenter for a lot of these ideas.
Definitely. I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, So, I mean, Elon Musk, man. Yeah, that was crazy because you guys were talking about what were you guys talking about during that conversation where Elon Musk?
I can't even, to be honest, man. I can't even really remember right now. It's like most of the time, like another reason why I do podcasts, because I might have Alzheimer's when I get older, and I've accepted that fact. I've seen some of my elders go through it, and like if I could have traces of that left somewhere, then yeah, a podcast would be a good reference point to look back on. But right now, I can't even tell you. Like even with this scheduled podcast that we had today, like shit, I don't know if like I was thinking that the format of your shows, we go through like social media and scroll through it, but I don't know what the format is. But I once said I was saying something like, to be honest, time been going fast for me ever since we graduated, and that's like really how I feel, man. Like I feel like I really just ain't just been like static in years. But
yeah, for for sure. I mean, I'm in Utah, nigga. I know
Yeah,
I ain't been
yeah.
static.
Like I remember we used to drop you off. I remember you used to be jumping out of people's windows and stuff, man.
Yeah, well, I don't remember a situation. Did I jump out of a window? When did I jump out of a window?
Man, I remember hearing tales of you hiding in closets and such.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pussy is a
that was-
powerful drug.
yeah, man. They have you doing any different types of
have you-
performance that you never knew you could.
Nigga, let me tell you about that. Let me tell you
Let's
that
go.
story. As a matter
Let's
of
get
fact, because it was
Let's
actually
get it,
really
man.
fucking crazy. So it was an ex-girlfriend. I was in high school, right? So
Hey.
I didn't necessarily have transportation. I'm in high school, so I had a bike. I lived in, I lived over by like where El Rancho used to be, by the Lisa's Chicken and all that, over on Park Road down the street.
Yeah, I remember.
From where Malik used to stay. You don't know. Anyway, I was over there, and she lived over by Bowie. Like, it was a pretty far
I remember
distance.
that ride
This is
down
like,
Collins.
if I rode my bike over there, if I rode my bike over there, it's gonna take me an
Did you
hour
do
and
it?
a half, for sure. Oh, what? Yeah, I rode that bike all over the goddamn city.
Yeah, the power.
Hell yeah, I did it. So look, it was one weekend. I told my dad that I was gonna be spending the night over Jalen's house, or something like that, and I rode my bike to my then girlfriend's house. Her mom wasn't home that night, like she worked night shift or something, so she comes home
Gotcha.
in the wee wees of the morning. So I came there, and we hung out or whatever, and she woke me up before her mama got home, like 30 minutes or so before, and she was telling me, hey, when she get here, you need to hide in the closet.
Oh my God.
And I was like, damn. Okay. I'm under the impression that I wouldn't have to worry about this. I wouldn't even came over here if I thought
Oh, so
that
she
that
didn't
would
even
be
tell you that it
a
was
part
going to
of
be
it.
a surprise?
Right. I thought her mom was gone for the weekend.
Oh.
But it was what it was. Here I am now, and I'm like, fuck. All right. So I get in the closet, and I'm in there for 20
Jesus
minutes
Christ.
before her mom comes home. Like, she doesn't know, it could be any moment. So it was like 20 minutes before her mom even came home. And her mom gets home, and I stay in the closet for like another 2 or 3 hours. I'm stuck. I'm at this girl's house. Her mom's walking around, and I can't do shit. Her mom sits in the living room and watches TV and shit. This bitch bringing me sandwiches in the closet.
This was before phones got real interesting and shit too.
I know. I mean, I'm in that bitch playing Snake on my brick Nokia, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do
Solitary
next.
confinement.
And yeah, so eventually her mom went up the stairs to her room, and I snuck out the back door. And I think I called Leak to pick me up from there. That day,
Walking down the
I
street?
did call him. Huh?
I said you was walking down the street.
Well, when he came to pick me up, I told him to pick me up around the corner or something, so she wouldn't have to pull up. He wouldn't have to pull up.
Was your heart pounding the whole time during that situation?
Well, I mean, not for 3 hours, but
yeah.
I wouldn't. Her mom did come in her room once, and that was pretty trippy. But I didn't.
Intense.
I had no reason
Ooh.
to believe she was coming to the closet. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it still
I'm trying to
was
see,
weird.
like, I'm trying to get your feeling, cause like for me, the vision in my head is like, you know what I'm saying, you in a dark place by yourself. Could you see through
Right.
a crack in the door?
Well, no, it wasn't like that. She had a walk-in closet. It was a nice closet. Like I laid
so you
down in
had
that
space.
bitch.
Oh, okay. All right, you was pretty cozy.
and right. And the way that I was feeling, like I said earlier, I'm real analytical. Like, so I take kind of situations. I'm like, well, here I am in a closet. If she catches me, I'm not gonna be in as much trouble as she is. So that's one thing. And secondly, I had no reason to believe she would ever come to the closet. Like, she didn't really come in her room like that. She came to the door and said something to her and left. And the rest of the time, she never even came in there. You know, the girls, we were 11th grade, 10th grade or something like that. So she's older. It's not like her mom comes in her room and cleans up or anything. So I was mostly just bored as fuck in a closet. Every now and then, I tap the door lightly, and then girl come in, and I say, hey, can you bring me some juice, bitch? I'm thirsty. Can you bring some juice?
You had a pretty nice solitary confinement moment. It don't sound that bad.
I did. Yeah. She brought me juice. She brought it. But yeah, it wasn't that bad, but that was a crazy fucking situation, man. I used to be all over that goddamn place.
It remind me
it just had me all over the place.
At least you didn't get draws in your face like you remember the Wood when Big Mike was with
oh yeah.
Shit, I forgot her name. Damn. But damn.
Who was that in that movie? That was
Felicia. Her name was Felicia. Her name was Felicia. Big Mike, I think he lost his virginity to Felicia. Then he went down the hallway to go get a condom out of Stacy's room. And then Stacy was finna get some head, and like he was hiding under the bed. It did like he had draws in his face and everything. Sounded like yours was way better than that. Compared to that, it was way better.
Yeah, it was better. I wasn't under a bed, which would have sucked. For real.
Like with me, man. I think low key, like after I heard stories about, like I done heard stories about like your story in the closet, dudes jumping out of windows and running, dudes being discovered and getting beat up. Like that right there, y'all like low key. I want to say y'all subconsciously like told me that, man, whatever I be with a female, I ain't finna hide shit. Like anytime I'm with a female, she be like, I'm FaceTiming my grandma. I'm telling her that I'm with my homegirl. I was like, you ain't gotta lie about shit. I don't be wanting no lies held on me. I be like, shit, we finna just tell the truth. If you can't tell the truth, I'm not even to stick around. You know what I'm saying? But that's me as an adult. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, back when we was kids, this shit was, man. I don't know. Our minds was different.
Yeah. And this was my girlfriend too. Like I've been with her for a few months now by this time. And in high school, a few months, that's a couple years in high school.
It translates, yep. Something like dog years to human life years, yep. Like that.
So yeah. For sure. This is the Keep Scrolling podcast. So I did save a few posts that I did want to bring up.
Bet.
You're familiar with MMA.
Right. Mixed martial arts. I'm not.
A lot of.
I'm not deep into it.
Well, the
we could go.
UFC competition. You know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
I found this video. I'm gonna send it to you, but I have to describe it to everybody else. This video is of two children in a boxing ring. And when I say children, these kids are 7, 8, or maybe not 8. The little girl looks 6 or 5 or 6, but they're kickboxing.
No, dog. Where is this? Is this in America?
This is not in America. This is not America.
I know this shit is not. These motherfuckers got technique and everything with their kicks.
They do, and they're unwavering. Like they're unwavering. You know, if you're a kid and you get punched in the face, usually, that's the end of it. These
no
kids,
tears
they
or
say,
nothing.
Fuck that. Now,
man,
this brings us to a conversation
God.
that I think is very important.
Let's go.
How old are children really? I think that we should lower the working age. Look how focused they are.
I'm gonna say that.
Imagine if they were making shoes, and goddamn it, in this country they probably have to do that after this. And anyway.
This looks like the country where we get Nikes and shit from.
It does. It looks
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure
Nike
if they trying to fill seats, as far as like to see kids fighting, and people is probably paying to see this shit. I can only imagine that they thinking about making money off of children off up in a sweatshop.
No, but a couple things about it. how bad can they hurt each other really? As children, probably not as bad.
Man,
as
they low key
like they do in real fights.
These is probably some
Once
warriors.
you hurt a kid, they're done.
These children right here,
you're not gonna
like
kill
this
them.
here, this shit right here, this shit right here. This is a male versus a female.
Yeah, they are.
And
Yeah, for
they're
first off, and
underage.
she ain't bullshitting with
and
them.
it's like the exact opposite of what it's like in America over here right now. It's man, it's some crazy shit. It's a humbling experience for me to see this shit because the way how everybody's sitting up here looking at it, they've been doing this shit forever. Like, look at everybody. It ain't no shock. Look at the referee.
They have.
Oh my god.
They have on.
Look at the
they
dude.
have on
I'm looking at the
sponsored
dude in the
trunks.
corner cheering him. Man,
No,
I'm
they
looking
don't.
at this shit.
There's
This
something on the
is a
front of
different
his
world.
shit. I'm sure they
This
paid
is
for them.
damn near a different planet for me. They cheering them on and shit.
It is. Right. So these kids look really well trained. I mean,
she beating that ass.
considering the
She was
fact that they
beating that
look
ass.
like they're about 5
I
or
keep
6
letting it
years
play
old,
over and over again.
they look really well trained. Like, and it makes me think. I know, and it makes me think about like when it comes to raising your kids, and you know how you have your savant or not savant, but prodigies. Those child prodigies who can play the piano real good or learned how to do break dancing when they was 6. There's this one kid who mimics Bruce Lee perfectly and all in Enter the Dragon. Like, kids are 5 and 6 and they know this shit. Like, they're really good at it. I'm trying to figure out what I can put my son on because I don't want it to be nothing typical. Another kid playing the piano real good. He's not going to go that far. But what if I get him real good at something where, you know, people will see it and they'll be like, what the fuck is going on in our country where kids are learning stuff this fast? And I want them to be, you know, famous for it. What is it?
Are you looking for
What could it be?
You saying you looking for a unique quality for him that he can excel in so he can stand out
a unique
and shock people?
a unique prodigal skill.
You say you trying to find out the skill?
Yeah, just a skill that I could start teaching them. I'm thinking driving. I'm gonna get him driving right now. Get him some stilts and a booster seat.
I say let him practice. I say
Get
let
him
him.
going.
I say take him to
Fucking
Dave and
learn.
Buster's. Let him practice on one of those games, you know, driving games. And I think you got you a good deal.
Yeah, you practice on the games.
The only thing is, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you'll have to find a nice obstacle course for him to display his skills on. Because if you try to test him out on the
Right.
streets, you probably gonna go to jail. I don't.
or the Kmart parking lot.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You
I,
go to the Kmart
I don't know how
parking
the
lot right quick.
Utah traffic laws are.
But-
I don't know if people in car seats can be in the driver's seat.
I'm probably gonna end up having to go to whatever. I'm probably gonna end up having to go whatever country this is.
Yeah, like just like R. Kelly and them when they tried to do all their age related business out of countries and shit.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. You know another thing that's fucked up in this world is all these goddamn Me
You said
Too's. The Me Too season has started a while ago, but like why is it now that we're realizing that R. Kelly is shitty? Like it seems is it because of
Definitely.
the documentary?
Like it's like it's more sheep
Yeah.
than shepherds out here, right? So whenever certain things come out, it's a few people. Like whenever something first come out, it's gonna be a few people that's gonna know what they like and don't like, and it's gonna be a few people that's gonna wait to see what everybody else do, and then they gonna decide off of those. You know what I'm saying? So like that's
Right.
how the R. Kelly situation is.
Right. Yeah, it's R. Kelly has been trash forever. Like he got away with marrying Aaliyah.
It was swept under the rug.
Like they forged the document. Like he should have been
Yeah.
in jail. He should have been in jail already. It's crazy. And we canceling his music now. Most of that shit was made like before all this, like before all of it started coming out for real. Like once we really knew he was doing, like the P tape came out, he was already the Pied Piper of R&B. Like he was already.
Man, I gotta confess, his music is classic, man. Some of his music is like just classic to me. Like
that's not even a big confession. I mean,
like,
it's not. I mean, it really is.
Like, I was just
like,
saying that because, like, you know what I'm saying?
This,
you was like, we knew he was trash and everything. Yeah, like, as a person, that motherfucker is like an ass. You know what I'm saying? He an asshole, dog. He like the type of dude that'll be like, man, I'm gonna quit, man. I'm gonna quit doing all that shit, man. Then he come out with a song the next week talking about, you know what I'm saying? Seems like you're ready. And then, like, he kept doing that shit over and over over the years.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah, man. When you
all the sexual songs of R. Kelly are about children.
When you think about it, like I try to tell females to watch out for hype, but I doubt that they listen because like females get hypnotized by certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even got to be a famous dude. It could be like just a dude that like got like I think that's why they sometimes call individuals birds, because birds are attracted to shiny objects. And if somebody come around with the right flash, then like females like different. I ain't even just gonna limit it to females. People get like enticed by shit like that. And with R. Kelly, you ain't never heard no female come out and say complain about getting pissed on. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, they keep them like, I don't know if they keeping them hidden. They don't even want to like how we fought for civil rights when shit was wrong. Females is not fighting for themselves being pissed on. I think they liked it. I think yeah, it's not an anti-piss on march. It's not an anti-piss march. Anti-golden shower march. And then like
there's never been a woman who was pissed on that didn't like it.
Man, with
I don't think I can say that. But
it's like this. Like I was asked to piss on an individual recently, and I was like, nah, get out of my face.
You were what? Wait, she asked you to do that to her?
Yes, sir.
Nigga, you aren't in a relationship. That's some relationship question.
Nah, man, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm in positive spaces. I'm in positive spaces, man. I'm in positive spaces. And like I said, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't I be trying to separate hype from any romantic situation that I am in, you know what I'm saying? Because right. I be time traveling. I time travel with shit. Like you seen Avengers, right? The shit. Yeah. What's the Avengers that came out before Endgame? Whatever came out before that. And Doctor Strange was that Age of Ultron, the one before? The one after. Oh, Avengers I'm trying to remember what the one was before Endgame. When Thanos first came.
It's the Avengers Avengers Thanos.
Yeah, we're gonna call it
the first
one.
We're gonna call it though. Infinity War.
We're gonna call it the Thanos introduction movie. But yeah, Doctor Strange went and seen.
Right. It's called an Infinity War.
That's what it's called. The first one, Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War.
Infinity War, and then
all right. On Infinity War, Doctor Strange went and seen, you know, the many different outcomes of their situation with Thanos. That's what I be doing with relationships. Like whenever I first get into these, like I think about where we gonna be when we get old. Cause like what I think is gonna boil down to is who you gonna be, like who is gonna be the best option for you when both of y'all is sitting on the porch rocking back and forth in some chairs. You know what I'm saying? Like I be like, my dick probably gonna be out of business by then. You know what I'm saying? The ED start kicking in. You know what I'm saying? Looks and shit.
Right. So you're gonna want that not to matter so much.
Yeah. It's like I take that away. Like I know that it's finna feel good right now. We young and ripe. You know what I'm saying? But I take that shit out. Like I be like, we probably gonna look a little fucked up because you know what I'm saying. We start aging. We start looking like potatoes in the sun, raisins, from grapes to raisins, as some people might say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not gonna look the same. And shit, it's probably gonna boil down to like if we could still communicate with each other, if we could talk and have a good conversation, and like if like the head on your shoulders, if y'all can have the right flow of conversation. It's another reason why these podcasts and shit good. The flow of conversation is always healthy for any age. But yeah, I time travel with that.
It is. It really is. If I ask you this though, if you can time travel into the future, in your mind and see all of the possible outcomes, at that point, if you're not trying to save the world or anything, does it matter? Does it matter which outcome happens? And you know all of them. I mean, wouldn't it be the same as not knowing any of them?
I think it'd be more like, let's see, if it'll come down to like how you feel thing. Like if you had the choice, it'd be just like, you know what I'm saying? When you choose ordering food, like what would you prefer at that time?
Right. So you're trying to see what you would prefer at a later age. Cause you did say you were like, when I think of Doctor Strange doing that, going into the future 100 or whatever, however many fucking times he went, 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Like if you do that, then I think that you're thinking of this is the future where I die first. This is the future where she dies first. This is the future where, she hates me and we break up because of some trivial shit. And what do you say? Okay, this is the future that I'm worried about, so I'm gonna stifle the relationship here. Or like, I'm trying to understand the logic behind looking into the future on a relationship.
All right, it's more like whenever certain things happen, like coincidentally, to even do this, you had to notice how certain cycles in history go. Like say if
Right.
if I was with a woman and I catch her lying like 3 times, and she like, you know what I'm saying, like it's on some habitual shit, and like I'd be like, I can't go into the future with this.
Right.
It's like if anything happened, and if she say anything later on, I'm not even gonna believe anything she say, even if it's true. You know what I'm saying?
How am I supposed to
like,
trust her?
It's like that. It's not me like going into like a million different futures.
Sure.
It's like more like seeing the root, like what type of
And I know literally
Yeah.
not. I know literally not. But I thought that you were doing some sort of speculation about how the future was going to turn out based on sort of the information you had in certain situations, which is kind of what that is.
It's pretty
But
elementary.
You're
you know what I'm
doing
saying?
what people are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're supposed to do when it comes to that. Yeah. in that
But
case,
like I
for
said,
sure.
like if you put hype
For
into
sure.
it, hype be fucking people up. Like I can imagine that it's some dudes out here, they out here, you know what I'm saying? They got, you know what I'm saying, the wife out here with the golden eyes and shit. The motherfucker that she got the irises that
Right.
look like a sun gleaming through a drip of honey falling out of a comb and shit like that. But then like I said, that motherfucker right there, like, you know what I'm saying, she be lying all the time.
You come home 30 minutes late for work. You come home 30 minutes late for work, and your Jordans is all cut up.
Yeah,
Bitch,
or like she
bitch, I thought your eyes was pretty.
yep,
We were supposed
just
to be
like
good.
that. Or like she you know what I'm saying, has put a knife up to your neck a few times. Like, why was you looking at that waitress like that? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He just
God.
sitting back like, shit, she cute, man. I'm staying
Yeah.
with her. She cute. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't let hype like fool me like that.
Yeah, I mean that's literally the same as well. He loves me. He take cares of me, even though he beats me. Like it's.
Oh
the
yeah,
same
we go
shit.
through the same thing,
Like,
ladies.
we get abused.
We
in
go through the same
relationships,
thing.
too. I mean, we do. It's verbal abuse. Sometimes like lack of emotion in certain times towards your partner is a form of abuse. Like you're not acknowledging my feelings or whatever and all this. Like we go through all that shit. Like, and it doesn't feel great when it happens. It's not like we as men can take it better than you can. You know, same shit. So yeah, I mean it's important. Like looking for a woman these days is fucking crazy. Because women have this fucking. I think that women watch a lot of TV, and they watch a lot of. They on Instagram a lot, and they see these relationship goals and where these people are in their life, and then they expect something like that from you. You know what I mean? Like it turns into this expectation that you're not able to achieve.
It's a lot of comparisons.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of comparisons that females make, and it's not they don't necessarily make themselves. It's like it's you can feel a lot of influences on females.
Exactly. Yeah, the influence is what it is. Like they're influenced by all this shit, and they think that this is what my life is supposed to look like. This is what life is supposed to be, and it's not that with him. So it must be wrong, or it must be not. Not the relationship I'm supposed to be in. And like that's a fucked up way to look at it. That's just fucked up. Like people have to allow each other to be individuals. We got to be better at that. Especially when it comes to like people's thoughts and opinions and all this shit. Like we have to allow each other to grow and understand and have these conversations so that the country won't be so divided, people won't be so divided, and relationships too. Like you gotta have those conversations. You gotta talk about when something hurts your feelings, when something doesn't sit right with you that your partner does. You gotta talk about that shit, man.
Oh yeah, it has to be some reason and understanding. Like I want to say, I'm gonna say it like this, like as the conversations of equality and all that stuff is came into the picture. Reason and understanding have to come too, because when equality was like, when there wasn't even no conversations about it, that's when people could say whatever people people, it was more so like when it was less civilized. I'm gonna say when people say stuff and they ain't gotta have no type of representation for what they say, you know what I'm saying, that was less equality. But when more equality rises up and people have to respect each other more as peers than as like most of the time, if at the worst part of at the lowest point of equality, I'm gonna say people just look at like others as prisoners. You know what I'm saying? Like at the lowest point, like in the penitentiaries, whenever people say stuff and they don't need no reason to something for it, that's like how what I'm saying, how guards treat prisoners. But whenever people are peers, it has to be some type of explanation and reasoning for it. It has to be. Because when shit don't make sense, people start asking questions, and people got to ask questions. They had no clarity, and people ain't got no clarity. Shit, it's finna be some misunderstandings, and misunderstandings is how Trey. I mean, when
that's true.
His name was Trey. When Kane got shot up at the end of Menace to Society, because that's just how it was. Yeah,
that's how shit happened, man. And it's crazy too. I like to think of it like soldiers in the military. Like you're a soldier in the military. You've been sent out to fucking infiltrate a village that has these insurgents in them that you have to kill. But if they're all dressed, similar, they're wearing street clothes and shit. If you see anybody, you're on high alert. You're in attack mode because you don't know if this is the enemy or if it's just a civilian. And I think that happens in a lot of these conversations where people are fighting so hard against racism that the minute they hear anything that sounds a little bit racist to them, or not even just sounds racist, if you're talking about someone who is racist, even if it's not like if it's a little positive about them, or if there's anything about them that you disagree with, you're tearing somebody's head off. Like you get pissed off, you don't even read the nuances, you just fucking go right into the situation as if he called you a nigga personally. Like there's no nuance to situations. Like one thing, like during this whole Me Too thing, one person that got taken down that hurt me was the guy who made the Nat Turner film.
Nate Parker. Yeah.
Nate Parker made this film. It was the first black liberation film. Birth of a Nation, named after the original Birth of the Nation, where it was about white people. And showing
it was a racist movie.
Showing black people
came out in like the 1900s.
Right, exactly. and that's what he named the movie after, and showed a black liberation story. Not really liberation, because them niggas didn't get free at the end, but he tried, and that's all that counts. And
it was a statement.
This nigga put this movie out, and they dug up an old rape case that he got off on. He beat the case, and he still isn't.
Oh, yeah,
he's
I know
still
exactly what you're talking
gone.
about.
He's banned. I don't know exactly what it means. I guess no one will hire him. Nobody reads any scripts of his anymore. Birth of a Nation did horribly. Like,
yeah,
it's
connect. It's like a little inner city connection. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's
like whenever people get banned, you gotta watch out, because alliances could fuck up certain things for you. Like you ain't see, like I bet in another dimension, when that movie like took off and it made the statement that it was supposed to, like how Ava DuVernay movies, they made the right impact. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get shut down or anything, but I'm pretty sure he would have been having interviews on talk shows and everything. He would have went on like
panels on CNN, like, fucking.
Yep, radio shows.
Said something racist. Let's get Nate Parker down here.
Yeah, man, but as soon as they brought up that case, and like as soon as he got a certain stain on him like that, you know what I'm saying? Like even though he got off, like you said, off.
Yeah, people hear like rape.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even read into it. They just like looking at it as like I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. It just left just a nasty stain on them. And if you notice, they try to do Charlemagne the God the right way. Like I would look into whoever his legal consultants and shit is, because he got off real nice, and he's still on the news talking and everything, because they tried to do the Me Too shit on him too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then
right, but the problem with him is he said that shit years ago.
Yeah,
he already talks about this all the time.
Yeah,
so
like.
It's not new, you know.
To me, that just
like with Nate Parker, nobody knew about this. It was totally new.
Like that just brings up a certain point to me. Like I always say, play your card before anybody else could play it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, that's true. And another thing about it, like social media has made us very, very our attention span is very short. We get some news, we read the headline right quick, oh damn, that's crazy, and go right to the next thing, oh shit, and like I feel like our minds have all adapted. Like look at the country, look how it is. Like back in the day, there used to be debates, there used to be conversation just because this was the one piece of news for a month, this was the one piece of news for the whole month, and everybody had time to read on it, hear about it, and gather opinions on it. And they had discussions.
Yeah.
Like, but now, as soon as someone reads the headline and sees another person comment, "Oh, this is some bullshit," like you're already, you already decided what you think. And then even if you read the article,
it's like a race. Like
people, yeah, even if you read the article, you eventually like. You still do it with a bias that it turns it into whatever your narrative, whatever you want your narrative to be. And this is why the NRA won't do anything about guns. This is why anybody who says anything that seems kind of racist is canceled by like the left. And I feel like the only way to really to stop that is to, introduce more podcasts, have more conversation, and try to get more people listening to people debate topics that aren't necessarily comfortable for them to hear, just so they can understand that it's about nuance. It's not just this is what it is and this is what you should think. That's what religion is. Crazy. Are you religious?
Who you talking to me?
Yeah.
Nah, like I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I'm with everybody. I want to say everybody in this generation. I'm gonna say the generation before us, it started this new trend of people being more spiritual than religious, because I want to say that certain people that we seen as we were growing up that were claiming to be religious, we seen everything that happened behind closed doors. And outside of closed doors. You know what I'm saying? And we probably seen so much hypocritical shit that we was like, if they following the rules of this book and they still doing this shit, then I don't know if I want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I study the events in the Bible, but it's not a rule book for me. Like I hear people quoting the Bible and they be like, well, you should do this, you should do that. I don't ever do that. Like I look at historical events and I look at, it's real good at showing you people's reaction in certain events. Like if I could relate. I could relate the shit that you just said when you said people should listen to different sides and different perspectives. As I think that's what you were trying to say when you said people should listen to podcasts, right? That was
right. Yeah, they should hear different people have conversations and nuance.
Yeah, like I could say in the part of like in the Bible right now, I'm reading the second book of Samuel. The beginning, the first few chapters is about people trying to kill people and trying to represent a certain side in the conflict, but the people that's really in the conflict, they don't even ever meet each other. It's different people that's affiliated, that's really shooting the shots. You know what I'm saying? That's really out here killing people. It's
like mercenaries hired by the actual.
Nah, it's not even mercenaries. It's more like I'm gonna do it like this. Like whenever I do this, I translate the shit to like modern times. I could translate the shit. Like I could put it like this. You know the story about David and Goliath, right? So David killed Goliath. Right. David was celebrated and shit like that. People was having rumors and shit talking. And then basically the king that sent David to kill Goliath, he got jealous and he was like, man, I don't like the way they giving him all this clout and they ain't even being glorified no more. So he chased David off. David ran away and shit. Well, David ended up out of the way. And David went and started his own kingdom and shit. And then when he started his own kingdom, it was people that was like, man, he used to, like people that was with Saul, they used to be like, man, he was with us, man. I think he betrayed us and ran away or some shit. People only thought. They didn't know for a fact. So then, you know, like, long story short, people started trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to kill David. They didn't know for a fact. But, like, David didn't have no beef with Saul. He didn't have no beef. He was just trying to stay out of the way. But then people kept on trying to come for him and shit like that. And, like, that was just a misunderstanding. Like, I could just keep going deeper and deeper, but I'm going to stop right there with that shit. Like, because that shit is just an ongoing, like, it's just an ongoing drama for real. Like, I want to study all religions. When I'm trying to go from cover to cover in there, and then, like, I'm going to grab, I might grab, like, the Quran next. Or I might look up, like, whatever books that's in Buddhism. I be trying to see, like, you know what I'm saying, the cycle and all of this shit. And like even like with like Greek mythology and shit, I want to really just touch on all of that just to see how the cycles was different in different places of the world and people's beliefs. But as far as like me, like going down the commandments and shit like that, and then like the commandments is a good way to keep. I want to say that the commandments is a good way to keep like terrible thoughts from creeping into your head whenever you're sitting by yourself. Like thou shalt not kill. If you sitting in the dark somewhere. And then you seen some kids the other day and you had killed their father and you sitting in the room and you like, them kids waved at me and shit and I killed their father. That shit'll eat your soul up. You know what I'm saying? But that's...
So you think that rule is to keep you from having the thoughts after you do the shit that you ain't supposed to do?
I think it's really to keep your soul from eating itself from the inside out. I'm gonna say that because like,
that's an interesting
like
take.
if you had to just, you know what I'm saying, like it's like our nature to try and prolong our life, even though we're gonna die anyway. And like part of prolonging our existence is to coexist with others. So if you present yourself as a threat to coexistence, then that shit'll fuck you up. It's against your nature for the most part. Unless somebody, you know what I'm saying, unless somebody comes with a certain type of threat to that.
True.
So then that shit there, you know what I'm saying, it just starts spreading like wildfire. Like the illness can start spreading. Like, you know, that's how wars and shit get started. That shit start getting deep.
I'm very agnostic. My dad is a preacher and my grandparents are very religious. So I grew up in church. When I got to high school, I started going to church with Dad. And what really fucked me up is college, which is usually where most shit happens. But man, when I got to college, I met this dude who was
as
very
far as as far as what your mind perspective transforming.
It was a dude that was very non-religious. And, you know, I just came from this very religious background, and you're always taught you're not supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to question God and all this shit. And,
I've been asking questions all my life.
Right, but you feel uncomfortable, especially when you're a devout Christian and you have a thought like, well, you know, how the fuck did the American deer get across the ocean and get on Noah's Ark? When you start having thoughts like that, then people, not people, but like you get kind of you know, shameful because you think you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to question God. It's a sin. But this dude, he was like really hard not Christian. So he was just telling me stuff, and his conviction with it made me think like, not that I'm wrong, but let me look into it. You know, let me look more into it. Like, why is this guy so adamantly? Everybody I've ever grown up around, especially black people, and he was a black dude. So everybody black was Christian. Like, I never really even thought about it, you know? So when I met this dude, it made me like, God damn. And it gave me the freedom to really question.
Yeah.
And then I'm in college. If you're not in class, you really ain't doing shit. So I'm in the library, or I'm on the computer, and I'm, you know, Googling shit. And I looked up a lot of different religions, and I did some study in them. I'm not going to call myself, you know, fluent in any of these religions. But if I had to choose one, if there was a big fight, I'd put my money on Buddhism.
Scientology? Oh, never mind.
No. But I would say Buddhism, man, just because it's not about a god. It's about self-empowerment. It's about you being powerful and you being able to calm your mind and reach that level of happiness that they speak of with heaven and what do they call
Nirvana.
it in the Muslim shit? Well, Nirvana is Buddhism, but that's just your mind having inner peace and being at a perfect equilibrium when it comes to your emotional intelligence. And it sounds like when they talk about it, when Buddhist people talk about it, it sounds so, you know, grandiose and all this shit. It sounds like this big idea, like you're gonna float out of your body and fucking be able to fly and shit. But it's really just peace.
I want to say they being is they being metaphorical? Is they being metaphorical when they say that?
Say what exactly?
As far as like, you know, you flying out of your body and having, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's not exactly what they say, but it sounds kind of supernatural in that way.
Got you.
When you talk about it, but what it really is just equilibrium of mind. When it comes to things, you don't really get emotional anymore. It's just things happen. Stuff is what it is, and you have to be able to accept that. It's really about accepting the world the way it is, and accepting humans the way they are, and yourself.
I want to say,
I
read a book. You know the book, The Art of War, right? I had read this book called The War of Art, and I want to say that I want to say one of the messages that I took, it sounded like it came from Buddhism. It was called like the 3 A's. It was the 3 A's were acceptance, awareness, and fuck. I forgot the third A, man.
Application.
Acceptance.
No, I'm just playing.
No.
Because you need a job in this world.
Man, this is making me mad, man. Hold up, man. I know I done typed it in somewhere. Hold up. I know I got it in my notes. Acceptance. Awareness.
Acceptance, awareness, and appearance. You got to be right. You got to look right.
Like, that's close, but it's not. Acceptance, awareness, and attention. That's it right there. God damn.
Well, attention.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Did you say intention or attention?
Attention.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 A's. They all start with A's.
Yeah, I was confused slightly.
It was like that right there is that was like a key to like having a certain type of peace.
Exactly.
Like I told like one time I had a homeboy that found out that his homegirl was well, not his homegirl, that he found out that his significant other was doing certain things. And I was like, yeah, man, you got to be prepared for stuff like this. Like, you see what age we in, like, and you see our age group, like, you see how old we are. There's certain things that can still happen that's not impossible. If you believe they're impossible, you're going to fuck yourself up.
Yeah, Buddhism is probably the best. Hinduism is a lot of shit going on. Hinduism is an anime, nigga.
You say it's an anime?
Like if you can put the Hinduism, like the story of their gods and all of the wars and stuff between them and all this shit that happened, you can put it in the form of an anime and it would be very entertaining.
That's probably where anime got their influences from. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like some of the gods and shit of
like
of
Shinron and shit probably came from
right. Somebody
probably came from some shit like that. Yeah.
But yeah, that only reason why we're talking about religion is because I was talking about how these people who read these headlines and immediately get upset and they have an opinion already, like that it's like a religion the way they do that. And I think that's a huge problem with why our country is so divided. It's a huge problem. Like nobody is thoughtful anymore. Like we need a thoughtfulness renaissance.
Yeah, like to an extent.
For
To
sure.
an extent, I'll even reach out and say that to an extent, like it's some intensities out there that use organized religion to try and take away thoughtfulness from people. Like if you look back in the day, they used to be like, just follow this structure right here. Everybody keep doing this same thing. Like as far as like, say when like medicines and shit get used, don't be using certain shit because it's like the devil's potion and shit like this. Just because it like say like people found out some shit was poisonous, they'd be like, it's the devil, don't ever try it. But some thoughtful dude was like, hey, I could use this and people won't feel pain whenever they get surgical procedures done anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like that type of thoughtfulness resulted in like widespread like use of what are they, anesthesias. And you like they call it a different name, but they using some type of venom or something like that to numb us out whenever they what I'm saying, break our teeth out, wisdom teeth and shit out. So like that's like one example of how thoughtfulness could lead to innovations that can help out like people in the greater picture. But that's one example.
Yeah, I stopped talking. My shit fucked up again. But we're back on. But yeah, it's crazy that people are so easy to be carried away on these ideologies. Like with the shooter, I can't believe it's been this long into the episode before we talked about that. Like the guy.
Condolences.
What's that?
I said condolences.
Yeah, for sure, man. My heart goes out to those people in El Paso, man. Like you just walking around at a Walmart, and all of a sudden, this shit is life or death. Already, I was just at Walmart today, bro. It never crossed my mind that some shit like that would happen, and I know that those people, weren't thinking about that shit. So it's just real fucked up that we not only do we have a problem communicating with each other, but like there's so much separation and division and ideology, and people align with their ideology so strongly that they're willing to die for it instead of just talk to somebody, instead of just having a conversation. Like
definitely,
for you to be racist in this day and age is a choice. Like, this is not something that you're raised with anymore. Like, there's too many people in your community as a young kid who's shooting up schools and stuff. For you to actually be racist, unless you're listening to Trump and these people on Fox News and these Facebook groups and all this, unless you're in these groups and this is all the shit you consume, you can go on Facebook and look at what your political leaning is.
Yeah, like how you That's I want to say that could be one of the curses
based on the posts that you like and read and stuff. Like
that could be one of the curses of social media. To be honest,
it is.
Like one time,
it really
like,
is. So I know that. Go ahead.
I was about to say, you'll be out of touch with reality. You know what I'm saying? Like you be surrounded by certain crowds on social media, especially if you're sitting in the house and you're not being, social with the people that's actually around you. You'll be your mindset be like like I said, out of touch with reality. You'll be seeing all types of posts and shit.
You're stuck in the thought bubble.
And like shit, that could be like, I want to say that could be one of the possibilities, because I want to say that if people is like, I'm pretty sure some people still try to carry on racist traditions, like prejudice traditions to certain people, and then when you go out in society and you gotta you know what I'm saying, you can't function like that basically. But when you some people probably find a comfort zone, they find a comfort zone in their house, you know what I'm saying, like they on their favorite site, they on their favorite undercover KKK site, celebrating and reading the history and all that stuff like that. Then they go back outside and they be like, I don't like the way how it is outside, you know what I'm saying? So then they try to it start getting ugly, man. It start getting ugly.
And what you're reading is straight ideology. That's like people who read the Bible or go to church and are very diligent Christians, or very diligent in whatever religion they are, and then they like walk down the street and see, or you walk by an alley and you see somebody getting their dick sucked in the alley, you're like, oh, what the fuck? It really fucks with you to the point of like, I need to call the police right now and have these people arrested right now. Like shit like that fucks with you.
Yeah, like you said, the people that swallowed up in them ideologies. For real. They be like, the world is like this. The world should be like this. The world is supposed to be like,
right, exactly.
And then when they say some shit, they getting shot. You know what I'm saying?
To the point where they want to kill a bunch of Mexicans, as many as they can get. And the fact that they're even able to do this is crazy. Like, those are weapons of mass destruction. For you to be able to fire 100 rounds in a minute, that's what he had. He had a gun that can fire 100 rounds in a minute. And he shot 40 people.
Fully automatic.
And killed 20 of them. And when you say injury, like when people say, oh, yeah, he was injured, you like, oh, thank God they didn't die. That's kind of what you say in your mind. Like, thank God everybody didn't die. But when you think about it, like, this person was shot in the brain, but luckily they're still alive. Or this person can never walk again because they were paralyzed by the bullet. You know what I mean? Like, these are heartbreaking stories, man. It's not like these people just got hit in the arm and shit, like an action movie. This shit affects these people's lives. It affects their families' lives. And all of it because people don't want to get rid of their guns. That's one reason. And racism is being seeded through the fucking highest office in the land. Yeah. It's fucked up. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Cops are shooting people. They feel empowered and emboldened to do that. Like, it really ramped up when Trump got elected.
The best thing that I can think of.
It was really showed in the news a lot more. So when he got elected.
When that event happened, when the Walmart shooting happened, like, my take on it, my best take that I could give on it, I was like, we got to check up on our peoples in real life. Like whenever I see people, whenever anybody comes in vicinity around me, I look at them and like I'll do like a head nod or something. That's really me checking up to see what's really going on. Like like the most, like I acknowledge everybody's presence for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Just because I treat people like people. I never treat anybody less than a person. Like people that treat people less than people end up getting robbed because say like you see some woman that decide not to look at people on purpose, that's gonna be the one that get their purse snatched. But like the ones that really like try to keep people from acknowledging people is people that want to strike fear into people. Like, these individuals do this, these individuals do that. So then as soon as you see them, they want you to have an assumption about a person so you don't even affiliate with them. But like with us as people, if anybody, especially if y'all speak the same language, you can have a conversation with anybody. I'm pretty sure you will understand like the purpose behind any type of motives that they have. And like I say that whenever you see people's thoughts, sometimes they be so trapped in their thoughts because nobody has acknowledged them that they thoughts could like cause people to get fucked up, and it could cause them to get themselves fucked up. So like shit, man, I say check up on your peoples, man, and I say just acknowledge people around you. Shit, that's what I was saying about that situation.
Yeah, you have to. Well, I'm not gonna say you have to because that's no reason for anyone to go shoot up any place. Everybody's different. It's just because you acknowledge everybody as people and stuff doesn't mean that I should have to just because I'm in fear of being shot.
Yeah.
And I understand your point, you know, like you do. It is good to make everybody feel like they're a part of this world and a part of something and not feel isolated and lonely like that, because that does help seed and feed those thoughts and ideology that they have. But it's still not something that they should do or should even be able to do. Like, we have a horrible system in place in our country to where people can't even go to Walmart comfortably because there's a fucking AR-15 in the hands of some crazy person. This shit has happened 255 times since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it was shooting. Like whenever it gets to those points, it's past the point of no return. When it gets to those points, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit.
I mean, what do you need to do? What else do you need? Like, first of all, this shit should have been done when that dude shot up that elementary school. Like, guns should have been fucking outlawed by now. Not guns, but assault rifles at least. Like, guns are very American. Nobody wants to give up all guns in America. But white people are so fucking worried about a government takeover, which is when I say white people, I mean these like Republican super gun nuts that live in rural areas mostly. They are afraid of the government wanting to come in and tread on them or whatever the fuck that means.
Talking about like some New World Order type shit.
Exactly. They be scared of that shit. They really do be scared of that shit. Like, you're not going to come take my guns away. Killer Mike is scared of that.
I want to say I heard him talking about something like that. I haven't listened to his specifics, but I think I've heard his talks along the lines of that, but I haven't really just specifically listened to what he said.
His thoughts are more so against, like, I'm a black man in America and these police are hostile, so I need to be able to protect myself just in case it gets too out of hand. That's a more logical argument than the government's gonna come in and tread on me, and I'm not really even sure what that means. Take it. What are they gonna?
It seemed like,
take my rats?
Like from what they perspective, it seemed like they
don't
answer the door and like it's gonna be like three dudes with you know what I'm saying, with M4 machine guns aimed at them or something like that. That's what it sounds like they thinking about.
Right. I mean, there's gonna be a nice white man in a suit first. It never escalates that. Nah,
quickly. It ain't gangster like that out here. It's corporate gangsters.
Right,
more corporate gangsters than.
Hi, we heard you have 37. We heard you have 37 assault rifles. We wondered if you wanted to relinquish those. There's a buyback. Don't. That's when. And if you shoot him, then the rest of the SWAT team is coming. But yeah, man. Fucking this world is crazy, man. I'm afraid of what my son is gonna have to. Like, we learned very fast, our generation. We learned a lot of shit quick. I think we definitely had more 15-year-old mothers than the last generation did.
Yeah, it could be, you know, we could be in our little thought bubble too, like we used to talk about with social media, because, you know, our school.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's true. That
our school was we had actually had a program for young mothers. So I want to say any female that got pregnant anywhere around that part of the city had to come to our school because we had the program. I don't know if you knew that or not. Like, it wasn't
nigga. I didn't. Nigga, our school was pregnant.
Yeah,
there was so many pregnant women in there.
They had the program made specifically for that. So like, if somebody went to another school on the other side of the city, if she got pregnant, she had to start coming to ours because we had that program. So I want to say that's why you seen so many 15-year-olds. Yeah.
I know, and my point is, it's because we learned fast, like that we learned so much faster. Like we were, our mom, like our moms and grandparents, like they got to be kids for so much longer than we did. Like we were, our innocence was taken away very early. Like we had those fucked up old heads from the 90s who was asking us about how many girlfriends we had. Like, I'm sure they had that back in the day, but it's like you should have been
that
fucked by
definitely
now.
accelerated
what are
the
you,
growth.
14? You ain't fucking. It's pressure.
Yeah, that accelerated the growth. Yeah,
It
definitely.
is. But now, my son is definitely gonna be seeing shit like that much earlier. Like, it's hard to get away from it when he goes to school. His friends are gonna have phones. He's gonna have that one weird friend that shows all the other kids porn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking to myself, what am I gonna do when I walk in on my son watching pornos or something, or if I find out he watching pornos? Like, to be honest, I don't even want to catch him watching pornos. I would like to raise a slick nigga that know how to
get
clean.
away with it.
Yeah, that know how to keep his business to himself when he you know what I'm saying, raising himself in those departments. But if I ever walked in the door and caught him, I'd probably just be like, man, I don't care that you watching the shit. What type is you watching though, dog?
What's your category, nigga? No
yeah,
way.
man, I had to see like what type of shit is
you
you
don't
watching,
have to come in and catch them. I mean, you're gonna find that crunchy sock behind the dresser.
I mean, I'm not finna just be busting in the door. I'm just saying, like, if I walked in on accident one time and, you know, just seen some shit on the screen, that I'm probably just gonna bust out laughing at him and shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't finna be like, I'm pretty sure the generations. I would say the generation, like you said, you had like most of your the peoples that you was raised by was in the church, right? Like, I'm saying, if you got walked in on, there'd probably be some discussions being had or something. You probably have to have like a.
Well, my mom is a pretty liberal type of mom. Like me and her smoked weed together after high school. I didn't even smoke that after high school, but we smoked weed together and shit. Like, she's pretty liberal when it comes to mom, but my dad, like, I didn't even move in with him till I was 16. So I really wasn't grown up. I didn't grow up sheltered, is what I'm trying to say.
Under strict conditions.
Like, my mom, what would happen is we moved a lot. Like, we would move to a place and then it wouldn't work out, so we'll end up back at my grandparents' house. And then my mom will go find a new place and then she'll come get us. And then it'll not work out and we'll end up back. You know what I mean? So my grandparents are pretty strict. But you said if you walked in on your son watching porn, you probably laugh at him. What about your daughter? What about if it was your little girl?
I had those thoughts too, man. If I walked in and I seen, like, I even when I ask females, in general conversations
big
now,
ass dick on the screen.
Oh man, whenever I ask females about what type
Big
of pornos,
dick on the screen.
I don't even think females like watch pornos for the same reason that we do. Like, I'd be like,
when they're young, they do.
Like what, to like to finger
Both of my little sisters got caught watching porn.
To finger themselves and shit like that.
Yeah, diddly
I
squat.
thought females like was just took
The
like
diddly
5-hour
squat.
showers off in there just spraying through that motherfucker. But
Oh, nah. They beat they meat like
man,
us.
they be karate chopping that meat, but nah, I was just talking shit. I'm talking that shit. But like, if I walked in on my daughter, man, I had to, like, you know what I'm saying, just tell her mother, I'd be like, hey, I ain't finna have this conversation. That's not for me right now. Like,
Why you think that is?
why do you
think that is?
Why they gotta
do
be
we have
misogynistic
this,
with our with the sexual talks with our daughters?
I know, like, we always like this. Like, okay, my son. If I found out my son was having sex, I don't know if I would be that
I had to,
upset.
like,
I don't
to
know
me,
how upset I would
if
be.
I found out he was,
It depends on how
like,
old he
before
is and the situation, but
before they even get to when they get to a certain point in life, and if I beat the world to teaching him about the shit, I'm just gonna give him some basics. Like, I'm gonna be like, just pull out you know what I'm saying, pull out methods, not letting your feelings fuck up your whole life and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And like shit, I try to with the daughter, it had to be a different conversation, because with the daughter, I just had to, like, if like right now what I would aim at is like, you got to know how to judge character. Like, that's the big thing that females have to do whenever they decide who they finna lay with in the bed. You know what I'm saying? They have to be a big judge of character, because if they was some dude that ain't got control of himself, shit, she finna be, you know what I'm saying, 5 kids by the age of 21 and shit.
I think if I had a daughter, I would subliminally plant gay thoughts in her mind all her life.
Young M.A.? You want her to be like Young M.A.?
Anybody who's not gonna get pregnant and could still be successful.
Oh man.
So fucking you just listen.
That's cold-blooded.
Right? You fucking, what you do is you just tell her, look how beautiful your mom is. Mom is just so beautiful. And then go out, see other women. Look how beautiful this woman is. Just look at the structure of her face. Oh, that's a nigga. Look at this woman.
To be honest, bro, I don't even think it's gonna work, bro. I think you're gonna turn her into like some type of super freak or something. Females already be like, look at how cute she look on the awards with that dress on and shit. You know what I'm saying? They already be appreciating each other's beauty. Now that might be like, like I think the best way you could do that. It's like, if you did want to subliminally do it, I'm not saying I would do it, but if you wanted to do it, like anytime you seen a woman on TV, you'd be like, just like that. That's all you gotta do.
Well, as she get older, of course it'll get worse.
Or like, just watch twerk videos. Watch twerk videos all the time. Like, damn.
But twerk like twerk videos is like up when you get 14, 15, and then I can say, look at that ass, look at them titties. But earlier
Jesus
on,
Christ.
when she's 10, you know, look how beautiful she looks. Look at her dress. That's a nigga right there. Yeah, don't worry about him. Look at her, though.
That's deep, though. You giving me something else to think about, walking in on her daughter.
No, it's crazy.
Watching that skin.
I don't know why we're like that as men. It seems like the idea is we don't want our daughters to get pregnant. It's the same reason why we feel better about us cheating. Like when we cheat, it's kind of like, well, I don't have to tell her, you know, it's all good. But if she cheated on us, it's devastating. Like we think that women cheating is worse than men cheating. Like we think that just because of the fucking insertion, nigga. The insertion is the thing.
You know what it is?
That's really what it is.
I know exactly what it is, to be honest. It's like, damn, I was just about to say, oh yeah, when you said about the pregnancy, to me, I just don't want my, whenever I have a daughter, I don't want her to get pregnant by the wrong person. But onto this cheating conversation, whenever that shit happens, when it's so devastating, or even if we think about, like, you know what I'm saying, somebody that could have been with them in the past, like, you know what I'm saying, you say you having a passionate moment with your woman, right? Mm-hmm. And she doing like all this crazy shit, like she making all these pleasurable noises and shit, right, calling you different names and shit, cussing you out and all that shit, making you feel like you know what I'm saying, like a king and all that shit. And then like you get this little slight thought in your head that if you ever had to like find out some news that she done did that like 2 days ago to somebody else. O.J. Simpson.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, and women have to be a little bit more emotionally involved with the person to cheat on them, especially if they're in a lasting relationship with a person. Like, if my woman cheated on me, she really would have had to like that dude. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In order for her to do that, like, she can't right quick to cheat on me. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly why it's so devastating, because they had to, it's like I always had this notion in my head that when women, like, especially like when women are with certain dudes, like women that's unaware of this, like some women give their soul to dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. I think that's where the concept of like devil and shit comes from. Like when people give themselves to the wrong person, it's like they stop making sense. Yeah. And then like you start seeing irrational decisions being made.
Right. I mean that just comes with that personal trauma. I mean, if you get with somebody that's the wrong person, like it affects you. It doesn't matter how small the difference is. If it's enough for you to not be with that person, you never want to see that feature on another person again. Like, you never want to see anybody else like that, to be in a relationship with them anyway. Like, it's so, like, you just don't want to see that no more. But when it comes to your daughter, I think that your daughter, like, having sex with somebody else is kind of like, this nigga entered my daughter.
I'm not gonna have a problem if it's the right. If he worthy, man. Like, I do it like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I be on some tribal shit when it's like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I be like, what I'm thinking about is like, you know what I'm saying? My grandkids is just gonna be raised by the right group of people. That's what I be thinking about. Like, I can't be mad that you know what I'm saying, that somebody is finna be dunking dick off of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Like, I can't be mad at that if it's the right person, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you dunking dick off up in her mama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what you say, that nigga going to the pros? They gonna dunk that dick, dog?
Yeah, man, he trying to get all 10s from every judge on the panel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying? That's like, because that's me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to do when I had my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can't be a hypocrite about it if it's another young man out there that has
we gotta be better about our boys, though.
What you mean?
I mean, better about how we raise our sons. Like, a lot of these kids don't have the daddy too, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Women instill in them.
You know, I have an hypothesis about this.
Okay, I'm gonna finish my thought real quick. But women who are single mothers are great. Like, it's really crazy because I'm looking at us as a dual parent household, and the shit is hard. Like, I mean, it's a lot easier than being single and doing it. Like, and it's really difficult. But these single mothers who have sons, they end up raising their sons with an idea of what they think a man should be. And it's really hard to, like eventually as a man growing up, you'll learn over time or you may not learn, and you end up, you know, in jail or doing some dumb shit or dead.
Definitely.
Like, that happens all the time. But if you have your dad in the house, like, I'm specifically speaking to black dads, you can't promote something for a boy child that you wouldn't promote for a girl child. Like, you can't make it seem like it's okay or it's not as bad if you have sex at 15 than if your daughter has sex at 15. That's not fair. And it's not just not fair, it's still life-altering shit that can change your son for the rest of his life. Like, you can't really stop your kid from having sex if he wants to. He's gonna figure out a way to do it. But, like, if you instill these values in them or instill what's important, this is what's important, and this is what could happen if you did have a baby, and this is how the things that are important are gonna be harder to reach if this happens.
Oh yeah.
You know, just kind of teach him that kind of shit and show him that this shit ain't right. Like, instead of promoting it, like, hey, how many girlfriends you got, young man, or did you get that girl number? I bet you can't get her. You know, stop teaching your sons to be promiscuous.
The values was definitely fucked up.
For sure.
Like, it's good that we are aware of this, and we wasn't trying to get the approval of the motherfuckers that was giving us those types of deals. You know what I'm saying? Because if we would have chased that approval, then we'll be, you know what I'm saying, we'd be pretty fucked up. But yeah, man, the values. Has anybody ever asked you, hey, young man, how many girlfriends you got? And you said one?
Nigga, they act like you ain't shit.
Oh yeah, it sounds like Def Comedy Jam. It sounds like Def Comedy Jam, but the laughter that comes. The laughter that comes after that.
Boy, one girlfriend, boy, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
we
like with me, I'm like a mix of the the ratchetness of that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? With multiple partners, I'm like a mix of that, but I also have a mix of a sense of nobility in me too. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason why at a time in my life I was with multiple women and such, and I wasn't really looking for any commitment was because I was just trying to see what you know what I'm saying, what type of trying to see what type of colors were in the Crayola box, as I say. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to see what these colors do, and I put them on paper. But like I also like knew that one day I would eventually decide it would be a means to an end, because I was just trying to see what I liked and what I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like I was finna be you know what I'm saying, senselessly slanging penis and just having multiple kids that were about to have like no organized family and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of that, and people not aware of it until they sitting up there on the couch like, oh shit, all of my kids are like 4 different houses right now and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's realizations come late with us. Yeah, because I don't think we look I don't think we look far enough into the future to see the results of these situations. We just be like, "Did some good coochie. She look good."
We're there. We're in for instant gratification. Instant gratification runs this goddamn country.
Basically.
I was listening to Dr. Sebi Family on the Breakfast Club.
That was a good.
Did you hear that episode?
That was a good interview, man. It was a healthy conversation.
It was it was a healthy conversation in literally.
Definitely. Nigga. That's what I meant.
I think I'm gonna get some of that seaweed that seaweed pill.
What, you talking about? They was talking about
sea moss.
It was talking about what? The shit that make your dick hard in 30 minutes or something?
Well, I think there was some different shit that did that, but I'm talking about the it's just, it has 92% of all of the minerals that you need daily in one capsule.
Oh.
92% of them. So when you take this capsule, you're basically eating a whole full course meal with all the nutrients you need, and also like some vitamins on the side as well.
Gotcha.
Like it's really, really good for that. Like it's like a multivitamin, but it's the real shit. It's from a plant-based life form that's not like made in some sort of lab into a pill. It's literally grounded up sea moss in a capsule. And that's the naturalness of that is attractive to me. Like I've been trying to get a little bit more natural with how I eat. Like I'm trying to stop eating out. Like I don't buy meat for my house.
Uh-huh.
I just eat vegetables here, and every now and then I'll go out to eat. And that's just when I forgot my lunch at work. Now I gotta stop and get some food, or we've been out so long and we won't be home for a while, so we stop and eat some food. Like, and that sucks. So I've been trying to get chicken at least just get chicken sandwich or something, and not eat all this beef. But like I'm trying to move in a healthy direction, and I want to start with sea moss.
Yeah, like what I got from that conversation, a big part of it seemed like what they was trying to represent was just basically just trying to live as naturally as possible and not having interference from what it seemed to be mostly man-made consumption. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seemed like they was aiming at.
Yeah, we eat all this processed food. We take all of these chemically fabricated medications, and our vitamins and supplements are made a lot like that too. So there's additives and stuff in that shit. Like it's not natural. They said protein shouldn't be white. How the fuck is protein white? So like that protein powder you buy and mix with and make a shake with.
Oh, I don't even.
That shit's crazy.
To me, I don't even be fucking with all that shit that be in the jars and shit. To be honest, when I be like, if I go to Smoothie King or something, I be like, hey, could you just blend up the fruits and like throw some water in there, and I'll be alright.
Right.
I don't be. They be like, do you want to put these powders and like they be asking for different extra shit. Like I'd be like, nah, no thanks.
You want a Kool-Aid pack of that bitch? What? Wait, what?
Man, I ain't drunk Kool-Aid in so long, man. I used to love Kool-Aid as a young ghetto child. Kool-Aid was like, I swear it was glowing while it was sitting in the refrigerator, dog. And it was like,
that shit is ridiculous.
I used to drink it by the jug, like a whole jug in
know.
like 3 hours. It was nothing. I'm pretty sure I was almost diabetic by age 9.
For sure. Kool-Aid. I never liked it. Never liked Kool-Aid.
Loved it.
The whole, like, we always made Kool-Aid and had it, but it was never good. I used to wish for orange juice or like apple juice, the real shit.
Oh yeah, it's
always broke.
I ain't drunk Kool-Aid in damn near, I want to say 15 years now. I don't have no appetite for it either.
I get that sounds about right, nigga. That does sound about right for me too.
It's been
Like Kool-Aid. Yeah, but hey, man, look, we've been doing this for a minute now, and I think it's time to wrap it up.
I'm telling you, we need to, because I can probably go. I don't know. I be telling the homies, I be like, when do y'all want to wrap this up? Because we can go forever.
Yeah, I mean, I could too, but I have a family.
Yeah, it's been a whole feature-length movie. We good.
I gotta go see what my fucking son's doing. But yeah, man, give your plug. You want people to find you on Instagram, fucking Twitter, wherever you at.
This is Rico Wayne, and if you want to find me having other types of conversations, I can be found when you search for the Feeltrip podcast, FEELTRIP podcast. And our slogan is we show how our feelings can take us places, but also get us stuck in spaces. It's a multiple entendre and shit like that for poetic people. And that's me.
Dope. Well, you guys know me, but it's been a while, so I guess I'll update you. TJ the Producer. I'm on Instagram at TJ the Producer. Tyjor Taylor on Facebook. I'm tired of sitting in this chair. My ass is hurting. I'm leaving. You'll find me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the only one, I promise.
I guess I could add when I was about to say, I guess you could add I guess I wasn't specific about it. We doing like videos on Facebook, and then on like SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, you can find the audio versions of the term that I was telling to search for, the Feeltrip podcast earlier. It's on YouTube too, but I use YouTube as cloud storage until we get a better camera and shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah, go watch that, man. Go watch that. Go listen to the show. It's a great fucking show. I've added it to my list. It's great because you guys have really good conversations, and I know you. I don't know Gilbert.
Yeah,
brother Bandana. I'm just outing niggas now, huh? Just telling everybody's name. But yeah, man. He's a cool dude.
Oh yeah,
nice
he's quite a character. He's quite a character.
And yeah, man, I love y'all. I love listening to y'all show. Go listen to it, man. Field Trip Podcast. This is the end of my